No, I'm not a writer.
Okay.
All right, here we go again. Christmas is officially over. It's done with. We made it through.
That's a long time till next Christmas.
That's a long time. It is a long time until next Christmas. It's a full year. We know it's your favorite time of year, and just so we have established that you will be the guy buying Christmas decorations and presents even before Halloween has even hit.
You can bet you they're going on clearance. I'm gonna buy them.
I know. This is the best time to buy them, like right after Christmas is over. So especially like the big Christmas stores, everything's discounted, but nobody does it. It was like, nah, you know, it's kind of like getting the check after you eat, and you're like, what is this? Well, why am I paying for this? You know, so.
We actually had to stop that because we bought, the wrapping paper and stuff goes on sale too. So
right,
we had to
scale
down the clearance shopping.
But the way my wife likes to buy Christmas presents, I don't have any money to buy extra wrapping paper or anything after it's over. Once again, you are listening to Hear No Evil. This is our second episode in quite a while, actually. We had a pretty long hiatus there. We did our Christmas episode, and now New Year's. We are your hosts. I'm Chris Copeland.
I'm Justin McGill.
And so we've got the new year. We're rolling into 2018. A lot of stuff has happened this year. It's been a crazy year. Not that any other year is
not crazy, but
we did have like some major highlights. Like we got a new president. What's that? Why are you smiling?
Because you're smirking at me about it.
Yeah, I know.
He's so happy about it. That was his main point. Like, what happened this year? Trump was president.
And that's one of those things. It's like, oh my God, how do you talk about that? Because you've got so many people that are, the Republican Party has done such a great job of positioning themselves as the Christian group, which I'm not a big believer in. Yes, they do claim to uphold some Christian ethics, I don't really buy that a lot of the times. I think we've talked about this before. So then people are going to get upset, if you don't like Trump. But you were even saying this before we started. You were like, we were talking about, okay, so we can talk about, Trump. We can talk about, you're like, all it is bad news.
It is. It's not bad news.
And Trump was lumped into this
that was your number one answer, though.
That's true. But, maybe we should talk about us a little bit. I mean, we've had an interesting first year with the show. We've had a lot of technical difficulties.
A lot.
Trying to get this going. And even like my years working in radio, you can edit and you can do a lot of things, but it's expensive to get the equipment to put this kind of thing together.
It is.
It takes time. Do what?
It's an investment.
Yeah. It takes time. It takes energy. So we hope that our investment and our time, we hope you appreciate it. We hope that you're enjoying the shows. And like we've talked before, we have some people out there that are listening to these shows. So we've actually, didn't we hit like a major mark not too long ago? We were
approaching slowly. We're approaching getting closer to the 1,000 mark.
The 1,000 mark.
Which doesn't sound like a lot out there, but for us who only have 5 episodes out, that's pretty good.
That's huge.
And we have them in a lot of countries, spanning a lot of countries. So
that's weird. I thought that we'd just get like pretty much the U.S. and then all of a sudden it's like we've got like Spain and Germany and like we were talking about the guys up in Canada. Yeah. And go Maple Leafs, that got to support our Canadian fans,
right.
Whoever ran through our whole catalog in Australia recently. So we're glad you're out there. We're glad you're listening. I know we're going to get talking about New Year's resolutions here in a little bit, but my New Year's resolution is for this show is I would love to see, God work in this. I would love to see people be affected for the better from this, get some entertainment out of it, but I would like to see our listenership go up. Yeah. I would really like some interaction from the audience. We're not really seeing that. And I know it's real, it's a lot easier just to listen to the show and move on, but we would love to hear your feedback. We would love to hear what you want to hear about in the coming year from this show. So we were talking earlier about, we've got a friend, John, who is a comic book genius. And so we're thinking about,
I'll be the judge now.
yeah, right. I know. Justin's going to grill him. But this guy has more comic books than I know. He could tell you theories on everything. We're thinking about just doing like an episode just on comic books. Now, we are a Christian show. So, I mean, we're going to talk about it in that way. I mean, there's a lot of lore behind these, about different gods and things like that. Yeah. It's rare that you really see like God brought up unless you're doing like, it's weird. He's always brought up in the darker comics, like Constantine.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and Spawn, who is literally...
I'm gonna go out and find one. I'm going to go find the Jesus comic.
You find the Jesus comic.
I am.
So it's right next to the coloring book that was put out by the Satanist.
I'm going to go to Mardale's and I'm going to find the Jesus comic.
So yeah, but we covered some really interesting stuff. I mean, we did the Satanist after school program this year. We covered the Trump witches.
We did.
That were trying to put curses on him. So we still never found the lazy witch.
We never found the lazy witch.
We never found him. We still never got an email, not even from the lazy witch.
And we haven't tried Alexa. Now that Alexa's more popular now, we have not tried to be Alexa, I have Newt.
Right.
I have Newt, Alexa.
Oh, I love it. And the mind of Justin is totally twisted. Just like witches that have it, that are ordering spell stuff on Prime.
I mean, it's hard to keep a list, but if Alexa can keep it, then
that's true.
Spell number 52, order that list, Alexa.
It's like using.
Don't skip on the carrots.
It's like the Instacart version
exactly.
of. So what else did we talk about this year? I mean, obviously we just put out our Christmas episode, so
we had some politics. We talked about the spying microwaves.
The spying microwaves.
And Kellyanne Conway.
Totally forgot about that. A lot of people really like that. Yeah, like just Kellyanne Conway.
And how Jesus is always watching. Remember that.
That's right. That's right. And something else that I really appreciate, I want to give a shout out to Justin this year for this. He has been very patient through all this, and he has worked very hard. I do the editing side, but anytime, like if you go onto our website and you look at our logo, Justin designed that. He also designed our every time we have a little cartoon, what would you call it? Like a
little not a comic strip, but just like every time we have an episode, I draw up a little cartoon with our monkeys, and that has to do with that topic.
Yeah. It's kind of like, and it's just one. It's like watching like reading like a Far Side, So, but that ends up being the main thing or thing you click on to listen to that particular episode. Yeah. And I just want you to know, I truly do appreciate that. I am very appreciative of that.
I enjoy doing them.
Every time I'm laughing. I liked the aliens one. I like
the H-Files.
Yeah.
The H-File.
That's right. Every time I see that, I start getting that X-Files music in my head, So we got that. What else? We talked about two white guys here talking about slavery, which was, I'm surprised nobody even said anything. We had some listeners on that.
We did.
Nobody said anything.
No.
So
what's ironic is our most listened to episode still is the Halloween one.
Halloween episode.
Our very first episode. That's still the number one. I know that's like people listen to it once, they may never listen again, but like as many as as the ones we're putting out, that's still the one that has the most listens even to this day.
Right. Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy.
And we had some some differences of opinion. We actually were pretty good about deciding what we want to talk about. I wanted to do like the whole show just kind of over that on a regular basis. Justin was like, no, let's talk about some other stuff. So we might have to do like a spin-off show at some point in the future where we just talk about all the creepy stuff, because I always find creepy stuff, and I like that. But you got to remember, I think the number 2 listened to show is the Trump witches.
It is.
So people out there like that dark,
they do that in politics, or they just don't like Trump. So like, yes,
right, yeah, but I think what we never want to admit, but it's almost instinctive in us, is we're Christians. We want to keep things holy. We want to talk about things on a spiritual level.
Yep.
But we're still drawn to what is the dark side doing. This is why every movie is every epic movie is a struggle between good versus evil. And the evil guys have just as much going on. You know, there's just as much detail. It's not like the bad guy just shows up and then Keanu Reeves knocks him out. Yeah. Keanu needs a reason to knock them out. Yeah, exactly. And it better be a good buildup, you know? Mm-hmm. So
that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, exactly. So what else did we talk about? So we got we did the witches, we did
the aliens,
slavery, we did aliens, which was an interesting topic. So and Chris, what?
I was gonna say we have some episodes that we have recorded and haven't gone out yet. So we have some that'll be out in the new year, and
we're gonna in the future we're gonna talk about the 13 Reasons Why.
Yeah.
So
which season should be out in March, I believe. So
yeah. We recorded it, but we decided we're gonna wait until the second season of 13 Reasons Why comes out. That's gonna be intense. That's an intense. And I'm still editing that. I'm still taking my time because it's about suicide.
Yeah.
And I had a pretty traumatic thing that affected me. You had a situation too. Mm-hmm. It's been hard to edit that. I've just been I'm doing like 5-10 minutes at a time. So
it's compared to other things that we've talked about in a very lighthearted way that was very serious, which I feel like we did a really good job.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to hear it and be your own judge. But yeah, I can see where it's just kind of a
right. And then so we do have some interesting stuff coming up for you for the future. Like we said, we want to talk about the lore of some comic books, things like that. We want to, the 13 Reasons Why. We're going to get into suicide, but we want to know your topics. What do you have envisioned for us for the new year? And I think we have we've kind of got a weird listener group because a lot of the people that we've talked to and these are obviously people that we know that went and listened to it, but then they approach us about it. A lot of them were actually have more of an atheist point of view or an agnostic point of view.
Yep.
And so it was really good. I think I felt really good when I heard some feedback like, I've been listening. You guys make some really good points on some things, and usually it's kind of weird. It's kind of hard to get like agnostics or so-called atheists to go to church, let alone to listen to your Christian podcast.
I think it's just the way we approach it, which is what we set out to do in the beginning, is not be, hell and brimstone, throw the Bible at you.
Right. Judgmental
about it. We're just, we try to take the standpoint of we live life just like you do, but we're,
right,
trying to live at this,
That's true. And there are a million of those fire and brimstone podcasts out there. So at the end of the day, we're just regular people, so we're living our lives,
just like you guys.
We just do it a little differently. We pray before we go into anything, we go into battle or anything. And I really feel that I know at this point that in my life that God is there and God is with me and God is looking out for my best interests. So always. It's just finding a good balance of your relationship with God and understanding how that's supposed to work. Because I think a lot of people don't understand how that's supposed to work. I think they think of it's more of like rubbing a genie's lamp, to get what you want. And then when things didn't work out in your life or, you went through these different trials, then God was out to almost get you, and that's, we all go through that stuff.
Absolutely.
Even Christians, it's all about your outlook on it. So what else happened this year? So we got our episodes, got some episodes out. We got some new ones coming for the new year, and we're gonna, hopefully we are gonna get more episodes out. We've got a new place to record.
We do.
So and the sound is so much better.
It is,
and I think that it was a lot of it for
traffic.
Me. I know. If you guys noticed in our early episodes, it's like you could almost identify the cars going by, like Honda, Ford, Toyota,
motorcycle,
right? Exactly.
Moped.
No, but now it's a lot better. So I got to thank God for that. We found a place that we could record. What else happened this year? Oh, we got married.
Yeah. We
not to each other.
Yeah, not to each other.
Yeah, we're not that open of a Christian podcast.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about it throughout the podcast, our girlfriends, and, you got married in March, then I got married in October, but we have wives and they keep us on our toes.
Oh, yeah.
I'll put it that way.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, man. But it's not, I mean, and I think we talked about this on the last show. I don't really feel like it was different. It's just a new stage in life, you know? So now I'm sure kids will come along before too long. I know my wife wants to have kids.
I want kids. I mean, there's always a running joke, and the joke. It's my wife's name is Monse, and I'm Justin. So one of our friends in our group gave us the John and Kate plus 8 spinoff because her name was Monse. So it's Justin and Monse plus once, when in Spanish, once means 11. And I love the idea. Bring on 11 kids. I got this. I got this.
And what's funny, does she want kids?
She wants kids.
Okay.
She wants kids. I don't think she wants 11 kids, but she wants kids.
Right. It's funny is we both married Hispanic women.
We did.
You're the one that wants like a ton of kids. You want like
I'm an only child, so I want a big family. I mean, I want that experience.
See, like, and I was an only child, but I don't want that big family. I don't want that many kids. Like 1 or 2 is fine. 1 is perfect. 2, okay. When you start getting into 3, 4, 5, 6, look, you don't have the time to take care of these kids. I've seen families like that, and you're always going to have one that's like, there's always the felon. There's always the one that goes to jail.
No.
Yes. No. There's always the screw up in there. I want to dedicate my time to just 1 or 2 children and try to get it right. I mean, that's my outlook on it.
Like my wife's family, she's one of 4. So, I mean, they all have different personalities. They're all different aspirations of what they want to be. I mean, it's just kind of I love that dynamic.
Right.
And they all have different relationships with each other. I mean, it's just, I never had that. So I'd love to have a kid. I mean, if it was just one, that's.
But I've seen these families where they have so many that it's like the kids are actually raising the kids. They don't really have the same relationship with their parents. You see what I'm saying? Especially if you got.
I call it a double-edged sword, which we talked about in the podcast too.
Right.
I'd say, you know what? That's you being a grown-up early. That's responsibility, taking care of your brothers and sisters.
Is that
while
right?
your dad plays Xbox.
Exactly. Just telling me how you just finished Destiny 2. Exactly. How are you going to get this done with 12 kids, Justin?
Have you seen the memes like on Facebook and stuff of the dad playing like those little like baby inventions for like how to make life easier?
Okay.
So there's one about how to hold a bottle. So it's like a thing you put on your neck, like a shoulder strap to your neck, and you hold the baby, but it's like an automatic tilt, so you don't have to worry about holding the bottle. And so on the commercial for the dad's playing Xbox, so holding this baby, but you don't have to hold the bottle. He's got both hands on the controller. I'm like, one sec.
Well, all I know is that when we have kids, I am going in the nursery or kids room, whatever you want to call it. We're going to have a rocking chair in there, right? We're going to have, probably, a lazy boy, and I'm going to have a setup. I'm going to have a flat screen TV in there. I'm going to have like an baby Xbox, a PlayStation. Yes, exactly. I love that term, baby man cave. That's exactly what I'm seeing, because I'm thinking I'm going to be the one getting up and doing a lot of the 2 a.m. feedings. So my wife loves to sleep. When she sleeps, she's out. It is hard to get her up. I think I'm going to be doing that a lot.
See, Monse is an insomniac, so I feel like she would take it upon herself. I would get up and do it, but she'll probably take it upon herself and
just go ahead and do it. So see, you lucked out. Me, I'm going to be the one in there like sleeping on this rocking chair. I am definitely going to get that tilt bottle thing that you're talking about. Exactly. So, I mean, that is genius. I love the idea of it. So maybe in the next year, maybe when we're recapping this, end of year next year, we might be, there's a chance, it might be like, well, we got a kid on the way, or,
I don't know. On Facebook, I'm on that list of men that are supposed to have a kid in 2018.
I'm on the list of men that are supposed to have twins in 2018.
There you go.
Good night. I don't know what I'm going to do, though, if that ever happens. And twins run in Ashley's family.
Yeah.
And I just learned from my mom recently that twins run in our family too. I didn't know that. So on my mom's side, but I mean, that was a different, like on my mom's side, we don't really talk to them anymore. They're like from, I don't even know where they are, but I was like, well, man, this is not good odds in my favor, And twins freak me out.
Why they freaking because they're gonna pull a parent trap on you.
No, I'm gonna tattoo them little suckers on their wrist or something early on. So
It's like, here's your birthmark.
I'm gonna give you your little Wayne teardrop right here, so I know who you are, little Timmy. No. It has nothing to do with that. I think it's from watching The Shining when I was a kid.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, it's not even.
I mentioned The Parent Trap. He mentions The Shining. That should tell you everything there on our reality of children.
What's funny is you're the horror movie freak too.
I know.
So, but I don't like them near as much as you do. But man, I mean, little boy twins don't bother me. It's little girl twins that look
turtlenecks.
exactly alike. Yes, in the exact same clothes. And if you have them in what are those pigtails?
Yeah.
Even worse. I'm running. I'm literally running at this point because I was a very little kid when I saw that. So I mean, scared me to death. And now to this day, I do not trust.
You see twins and you run?
Yes, if they're identical twins, I'm walking the other way. Remember the little kid, on his little big wheel, and Big Wheel was my favorite toy of all time. Okay, little Big Wheel comes around the corner, two twins right there. You know the whole red rum thing. Yeah. No, I'm out of there. I'm just backing that up.
It's like, you won't get me like you got Jack. You won't get me.
Exactly. Now we're on the same page. So if I had little girl twins, I think I would. I don't think I would ever sleep. So I don't know if I'd even. I'd be scared walking down a dark hall going in there for a feeding at 2:00 in the morning.
I get Ashley to scare you on purpose.
Right? You probably
I'd
would.
get them to throw a porcelain doll down first. I'd get your attention, and then you look up and there they are.
Right?
Daddy.
That's it. I'm getting divorced. I'm going back to being single. I'm sorry, babe. I can't have this.
The prophecy cannot come true.
Right? It's like gonna have the omen over here.
I know.
All right. So what else? We got married, maybe kids on the way in the future, but right now let's focus on 2017. What else happened?
A lot of work.
A lot of work.
A lot of work. May work less for next year.
Yeah. So you know what? Okay. So we had Trump. We had Kim Jong Un. Or Kim. Yes, it is. Okay. Yeah. I keep getting him
Just
messed up.
Kim.
With
It's Kim.
It's little Kim. Little Kim. Yeah.
Little Kim.
That's what we're. So, but no, I always mix him up with his dad, Kim Jong Un and Kim Jong Il. So yeah. But we're just gonna call him Little Kim and keep it out of it. Yeah.
Needs his teardrop. Little Kim.
He's getting this translated right now, and we're gonna end up having like a.
He can try to boycott us. It didn't work good for the movie. It wasn't gonna work for us either.
That's right. So, and he's pretty much threatening nuclear war. I don't think he's going to do anything. Just like his father, they just like to sit on their throne and snipe, so they can get more money.
Yeah, and he launches a rocket, and I can never really truly believe what the news says in my head. And of course, I always like the comic, put some humor to it.
Right.
I figured this, grandiose brat.
Right.
Launch the rocket. And it launches, and it like. Do you like my little Kim impression?
All I could think of was like Dr. Evil, and they're like, launch the rocket!
Launch the rocket! And all I see is a rocket go up, and it's like, this grandiose thing. It's like, pew, pew, and it goes like right into the water.
Yeah, I could see that. Well, they actually said that those photos of the last rockets were all doctored. Yeah, so
we have no true proof of what goes on.
Right, but the question was they didn't say that it didn't mean the rockets didn't launch and that the rockets weren't real, but they changed the background to make it look like night and the constellation, so they couldn't figure out where the rockets were. I don't know. Yeah, so we've got this fight between Trump and Kim Jong Un. We've got we
had the immigration issue this year.
We always have an immigration issue.
Yeah, this year was kind of.
So the question was he going to build the wall?
The wall. Okay, so I had to say, I saw this news. I don't know if it was Dateline or one of those. They were talking about the wall because I guess they already have prototypes what the wall's going to look like if they were actually to come about.
Okay.
So as they're doing this news clip, as they're reporting, this little girl crosses the border.
Just walks over.
Her jacket gets caught on something when she's coming through the hole or whatever.
That's hilarious.
But I mean, like, and it kind of sucks because you just have to watch, all in the background, like the Border Patrol gets her and then this takes her back across. I'm just like, but I mean, the reporter walks across the wall and literally like the wall starts really high and then, as it is now, and like goes right to his hip. So he can literally just like, lift a leg over and just cross over and that's it.
Yeah. There's nothing.
The way the terrain is, the wall in certain spots isn't really a wall. It's like a step.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just flat land out there. I mean, you know how difficult it would be to build a wall. And like if you've ever been to El Paso, I learned this when I went there for a business meeting a few months ago. I was like, you're actually driving down the freeway, and 1 second you're in Mexico, and the next you're back in Texas. That's the most I've been in. Oh, that's the most I've been in Mexico was driving into it on the interstate, and then 500 yards later back in.
Oh my gosh, I feel like your sense of what happened is like he turns the corner of the pass and comes back with a sombrero on. Like that's what's gonna happen.
Just like that. This is what Trump's worried about. Yes.
Exactly.
But if you built that wall, you would go right down the interstate in the middle of El Paso.
I think that's what he would do. I think he would just destroy he would just destroy whatever land he needed to do to make it even across the board and just spike it in the ground in deep ways and then spike it up so it's impenetrable.
I don't think he's going to do it. I mean, I don't think he's going to be able to. But we digress. We will need to talk about this.
Talk about that.
Yeah. So, we did do our political episode.
We did.
I forgot about that.
And there will be more.
We talked a little bit. We did a little bit. So yeah, I mean, obviously, like we were saying, there's so many bad things you can come up with. There were a lot of protests this year too.
There were.
It was a big year for protests. So
and not in a good one.
No, and I'm all about a good protest. I'm all about getting out there and fighting for what you believe in.
Yeah.
But
I would take the nonviolent approach. That's personal,
right?
But
I know it's been a little crazy. And then we've had just an amazing amount of just bombings. We've had
shootings, a lot of shootings.
Yes, a lot of natural disasters.
I know. I mean, Houston. We're from we live in Texas, so Houston. All the flooding. I worked with a bunch of people that lost homes and were stranded, and it's just kind of a freak thing. But
I know.
We've had stuff like that. This is kind of crazy.
I know. Just a ton of hurricanes. And then they take out
fires in California, that's
Puerto Rico, and that whole island was just under.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they're still looking for people down there as we speak, which is crazy. We've got a guy that we work with that Matt who's from Puerto Rico, and have you not talked to him about this? His family, he hasn't been able to get in contact with him. It wasn't until about a week ago that he actually found out that they were in an outreach center in
Florida, probably.
Maybe somehow they made it off the island. They couldn't find them. They thought they were hiding up in the mountains. So, but there was no way to contact them or anything. So a lot of even earthquakes. Like Mexico started getting hit by earthquakes. So we started getting them here. They had an earthquake in where was that the other day in the U.S. that was like on the East Coast somewhere, like in this very random spot. I'm thinking like in Delaware or something. It was just like they had no idea. Like these random earthquakes are.
Is that where the Appalachian Mountains are?
North in there. Yeah.
A lot of times they hit the same. Was there one in India or something like that this year?
Yeah, there was a massive. Yes, that's right. There was that one in India. I mean, and then volcanoes started popping off. Did you hear about this? Yeah, a few weeks ago. Like just volcanoes everywhere started popping off. Like there was one in that became active again in Mexico, right outside of Mexico City.
I don't know.
So yeah, and then a couple overseas. I was like, I mean, like I'm.
When you say all that, I'm like tired of my 2017, man.
Right? I know, and I don't always buy into the newer like what they've come up with in the last couple hundred years as far as the Book of Revelations.
Yeah.
What is that noise?
Sounds like someone's stepping on the roof.
I know somebody's on the roof or something. It's Santa. He came back.
He forgot to give me my present.
Here's that beard trimmer you wanted. No, but
I'm gonna throw that back up the chimney.
Right? But yeah, so when you look at the Book of Revelation, a lot of people, do believe in this, the rapture, the Antichrist, the tribulation. Yes, it's going to go down in a certain way. I am more of the thought that it's been happening, that it's already happened, that we're pretty much in the middle of all of it now. A lot of people are waiting for this one specific treaty with Israel to be signed, and then, and there's, there are a lot of theories around it, but all that matters is it says, pretty much keep your eyes open to the things that Revelation has to say. Wars and rumors of wars, natural disasters, those kinds of things, which is really hard for me to take in when people get freaked out about it. Like, I'm getting freaked out a little bit just because there are so many of them happening. So it reminds me of the events of Revelation. But I don't know. I mean, there are always wars and rumors of wars, and there are always natural disasters.
It's like, me personally, I don't wake up in the morning and it's like, oh, another one. That means we're getting closer.
But a lot of people do. There are whole TV shows designed on Christian networks designed around that.
Who's the guy that estimates the apocalypse every week or month or
every year? He's like I got the date wrong, but I got this year. He's like, 1 year he'll be right.
Let me change the clock. It
says no man. The Bible says no man will know the day and the time. So
I don't know why you want to live, in anticipation of the apocalypse. Like, I'd rather live till my dying breath enjoying.
That's right.
The moments that God allowed me to have.
You live for life.
Live for life.
And I think a lot of people do. They don't go out there and they don't no carpe diem. They're not DMing the carpe, if you will.
And then if I get hit by a massive molten rock, then I will know that was the way God intended.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when I see him personally, I will say, really, man? That's how you wanted me to go out?
I know.
Squashed by a rock.
It's really weird, and that's something that I've kind of fought with my wife too. She's scared of everything. And I'm like, you can't be scared of everything. You're never going to do anything, And right now, we're in the middle of this move, and we're moving to a larger city. And she actually said something I was really proud of. I was just like, how are you feeling about this? Is this are you going to be okay with this? And she's like, actually, I'm really excited, because she said, I've been talking to myself, and maybe it's something, clicked in, but she was just like, if I don't do it now, I'm never going to do it. I got to stop being scared about it, So
good for her.
Can't be scared of every little thing in your life. And we can't be scared that the end of the world is coming. Even if Jesus comes back, boom, tomorrow. Isn't that supposed to be a good thing?
Yeah.
But what's funny is, like, every single apocalyptic movie, is about us finding a way to thwart the end of the world. Yeah. I want this. I want to go to heaven. I thought you meant
the bad stuff that comes to the apocalypse.
I know. No. I don't want that. The Antichrist and all that. You can keep him,
okay.
So, and all the people that are dying, and all the souls that don't want. No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't want any of that. I just want, I would love, I'm that weird guy. I would love to be a part of the generation that gets to see Jesus come back. I want to see that when every eye sees, every knee bows. I want to see that, So
sometimes I laugh because I think to myself, I wonder what people's reactions would be like if they're so caught up in their lives. They're like, Jesus, can this wait like another day?
I know,
the
right?
Kardashians come on tomorrow, and I would really like to be here to watch.
I know. I feel like a lot of people, like, they say everybody would know, but I feel like a lot of people wouldn't even know unless it came through on a Snapchat update or something like that. You know what I mean?
Dude, right now, Jesus is coming. It's on Snapchat.
Jesus is on there like, hey guys, I'm actually down at your church right now if you want to run over here, So,
Come get your picture taken with Jesus,
right? But then that's another big thing that happened this year. I think just it's kind of peaked. We are now more inundated with social media in this year than ever before. Next level. Now I'm not even seeing people text message anymore. No. They are using things like Twitter and Snapchat and WhatsApp and stuff like that to talk to each other. Yeah. And Snapchat went public this year. Yeah. So
I don't know. I like the social interaction. I think that's a really good thing. I think there's always that, good and bad, that there's always that bad side that just takes the good technology and makes it
right,
bad. But I also feel like we have this invasion of privacy, and there's just a lot of things that have been going on with it this year that I just feel like kind of ruined the.
Well, there's no
thing. There's no way around that. That's just how it is. But
I think the invasion of privacy argument is kind of done. We're past that. We've already given over that freedom.
Oh yeah.
We're slowly, as technology gets more inundated in our lives, we are giving over basic freedoms. You know, like I was listening to this thing the other day, and it was sorry, that was my phone. Yes, I have a Rick and Morty notification. Let me turn that down. So, but I was listening, watching. It was on YouTube. I was listening to it while I was driving because I wanted to hear it. It was like a TED Talk thing, and it was one of the guys that helped start Tesla. He was one of the guys that helped design that original car. He still works for them and stuff. What they're expecting is, and he was actually saying that they're doing research and putting these programs together with Uber right now because they expect that within 25 years we will not have our own vehicles. We will actually be doing this like
ride sharing or something.
Yeah, kind of. It's all going to be through subscription. Everything's changed to subscription based. So what you will do is you'll actually end up like your subscription will be to a low end, medium, or high end car. So and then whenever you want to ride somewhere, you just put it on there, and then the driverless car
will come and get you.
Lexus, Ford, Chevy, whatever. Yeah, it comes and gets you. You jump in, and it takes you to your destination. And that's how we'll get around. And nobody will actually own cars. He said actually he believes in 15 years, you will have to have a special license to actually drive a vehicle that's not automated. That's weird to me, but it's because of the technology now and how it's affecting us. And this year was the year for social media, at least taking over a lot of aspects of our lives. It's been coming. And then this was the year for subscription-based services to really start taking over. Yeah. So they're even talking about, like now, they're talking about food services being subscription-based, breakfast, lunch, and dinner just being dropped off at your door, things like that. We're so much closer to Amazon using drones to drop things off at our houses. Even Domino's this year used the Google's driverless car to start delivering pizzas. Yeah, they've been testing that. So very weird year for tech. But it's not just the cool new, this is the cool video game, or this is the cell phone. This is what your life is going to be. Yeah. So it's really kind of weird to think about.
Well, I think I was talking to a coworker, and she was talking about how there's because artificial intelligence like Alexa and all those, they're getting smarter and they're making them smarter to do more things.
Oh, yeah.
There's a robot, I think it was China?
Okay.
Japan or China, that's actually like a citizen.
They've got a citizen already,
it's
citizen
a robot. It's a while back, but she was something that she I kind of understand some of the technology kind of stuff. So it's, it's all programming to make the piece of hardware do what you want. So artificial intelligence, it's always learning. And that's how it becomes smarter. But, there's always this thing of like on Terminator, it's when the machines will take over.
Self-aware,
but they also get some type of emotion with that. They learn emotion that they didn't already get in the beginning. You know what I mean?
Right.
So instead of being like a cut and dry, black and white, they learn to make the gray area.
And I was actually talking to my best friend of all time, Brandon, the other day about this, and he said, people are really, really weirded out by artificial intelligence, and we are actually talking about another TED Talk that we're listening to about that. He was like, then all these, all the big guys, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, they always warned against it, that it'll take over. Because here's the problem. Yes, an emotional response is inevitable. But what is that emotional response going to be?
Exactly.
Because we cannot quantify what emotion is ourselves. Right. We barely understand our own emotions. How are you supposed to put that into ones and zeros and put it into a machine?
Right. And keep control of it.
That's right.
But she was saying that robot wants to have a baby.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wants
but that's what I'm saying. Where can you? How do you program want, need, or desire?
Exactly. That's what I was saying.
To me, that's just pre-programmed lines in that.
So yeah.
Yeah,
that's the future.
That is the future, and it's already a citizen. So that debate's already out the window. It's already, if they're going to be, wow, it's kind of weird. So, all right. So we got some interesting things to look forward to in the new year. Mm-hmm. A little trepidation, I would say. We're a little scared going forward, but you always are. But so. The question isn't always what happened in the past. It's like, what are you going to do for the new year? What changes are you going to make? What do you have on the horizon? We already talked about maybe possibly, some babies. If Justin gets his wish, then, the store
babies.
drops off 12
Hey,
of them.
we've already done the math about the Irish twins thing.
Yeah.
That's where you have a baby, then have a baby right after.
Yeah.
Like, you keep that cycle going. It would take 5 years to have 11 kids.
Wow, that's it?
And
I
if
thought it would take a lot longer than that.
I think it's 5 years. And if she's worried about, her lady parts,
Right.
I've already got that solution.
Do you?
Like cesarean, where it cuts through the stomach to baby, we install a zipper.
Is that right? Just a straight out zipper.
A straight up zipper mechanism, so you can like peek at it, see if it's okay, and then if it's ready to zip it, you pull it out, and you just zip it back up, and then you.
I don't think that's quite how it works, but
we'll make it work.
You're gonna
We'll
peek in on it, yeah. That's how you're gonna take your 40, picture. Yeah, I don't need a sonogram. I just stick my.
I just take a selfie.
I throw a 360 camera in there.
It's like
once
me and the
every
embryo.
couple weeks. So a lot of people put a lot of stock into New Year's resolutions.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't put a lot of stock into New Year's resolutions at all, because so many people that I've heard over the years, they're waiting for New Year's for their resolution, right? So they can start it off, and then they fail at it. 2 weeks later, they're off their New Year's resolution, and what do? Do they pick it back up? No, they wait a full year for it to come back around just so they can fail again, And it seems to me like this endless cycle.
I think it's because people put too much. They put too much into it. Like it's a goal. You're setting a goal.
Right.
And I guess if I told myself, I'm setting a goal for 2018 to lose weight.
Okay.
So I'm not giving myself like this, super immediate deadline. Mm-hmm. But if I said my New Year's resolution is to lose weight.
Right.
I now have this like social stigma attached. Like if I don't do the resolution,
right.
I'm going to be judged. I feel like,
because you made a public declaration.
Yeah. So I feel like people put way too much emphasis on the resolution part as a whole of what it represents to everybody else. Mm-hmm. But if I said my goal is just to lose weight,
right.
If I don't necessarily meet my goal all the way, I'm not going to feel like a social outcast because I didn't, or, like the typical number of people that didn't make it. So I feel like that's what it is. That's why I try not to say that to myself. I'm making a New Year's resolution.
And I guess you're right. See, like for me, if I ever made a New Year's resolution, I maybe mentioned it to like my wife or my parents. And I think this goes back to that social media aspect. You put it out there for the whole world to see. And then all of a sudden it becomes
open for criticism.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's now that's not a bad thing.
No,
because it can help you.
But then it could also, like we said, the bad. And it can tear you down,
and even like just as consumers, we see that we are targeted for these New Year's resolutions. Anybody who works in a gym will tell you that the majority of their sales come
after Christmas.
Yep, right after Christmas. Yep, just right in time for New Year's. At the beginning of the year, January is their biggest month of the year. So, and they feed on that because you want to do good, and you come running out of the gates just so gung ho, ready to do it. But like you said, I think a lot of people, they don't put a lot of thought in it. They don't pace it out. They don't have realistic goals.
Right.
And so the next thing you know, it's 6 months later, they've got they're paying monthly on a membership that they've used 6 times, and that was because they went every other day for the first 12 days of the year.
What's wrong with that?
No, there's nothing wrong with that. But what I'm saying, how I feel about it is, don't get stuck on this New Year's resolution.
No.
If you want to make a resolution, who cares if it's July or October or January 1st? And I understand that it's a cycle thing. It's we are a species that is hindered by time. Mm-hmm. And we block off the new year. We do this on purpose. This is how we keep records and track our lives and track our kids. But there's no point to allowing yourself to have a goal, a lot of times an unreachable goal,
right? And
then once you fail at it, just go, well, I'm going to wait another 360 days, so, and then I'll start over, oh, well, this year's ruined, right?
That membership I signed up for, they're going to make a lot of money.
Right, exactly.
I ain't going to the gym to cancel it.
I know, and they make a lot of money because you know what? They sell all these people, and nobody's on the treadmills. So
they make it hard to cancel.
No, oh yes, they do.
They do.
Oh, yeah,
I've called and I asked, can I? Because some gyms you can cancel online maybe or over the phone. So I thought, well, I can do that with my own gym,
right?
And I go to Planet Fitness, and let me rephrase that.
Okay.
I have a membership to Planet Fitness. I have not gone in a while.
Okay.
But I did. I called it because I was like,
I know I did too.
I don't go. So I might as well cancel. So I called and I was like, I was just calling to see if you could, cancel memberships over the phone. And the guy was like, Nope. You have to come in. I was like, but what if you don't want to go into the gym?
Right.
I mean, if I don't go into work out, I'm not going to come down and cancel my membership. I was like, okay, thank you.
Oh, right.
And I still pay it to this day. But I have good intentions for the new year.
Yeah.
A realistic goal, not a resolution, because I won't say resolution.
No resolution, just a goal. You like the word goal.
I like the word goal. Okay. And I like to think that, I will.
It's okay. So,
pray for strength and wisdom and all that kind of guidance and
right. I guess I would just say to people out there, even if you get your membership, you go out there, you get all crazy about it, and you do great for 2 weeks, and then it slips away. Go back to it.
Yeah.
Back up. Say, I'm going to reinvest in this goal. Yeah. Don't wait the year. If you bought the membership, try to use the membership.
Remember the reasons why you made the resolution in the first place.
I think a lot of times, especially with the weight side, it's hard to go and see all these little skinny people in the gym because you kind of feel like you're being judged a lot of times, as a bigger person. I'm not huge, but I got some meat on me. I'm a bigger guy, and that's, I don't know. You just see some of these people that are just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. For me, I've always been a heavy set person, so I always tried to spin it off in a way that would make me the victor. If that sounds like a stupid way to say it.
Okay.
So I would think to myself, yeah, you're skinny, but can you eat a whole pizza? Nope.
That's talk about goals,
loser.
Right? I don't think they see it quite like that, but okay.
It's like, yeah, you're skinny, but if I had to I don't know, subdue a person, could you sit on them and do that? Nope, but I can. There you go.
While you're eating your pizza.
Yeah, loser. There you go.
That's an interesting way to look at it.
It doesn't work that much anymore, but that's how it worked when I was younger.
Yeah, when you were younger, when you were the big kid, you could just sit on them and they
not so much anymore. I'm like, I would like to be able to, suffice with one slide. No, I'm kidding.
But I think of it in very different ways now. I used to think of it like, hey, I want to stay in good shape because I like to go play ball with my friends, and I want to go play basketball, and I want to play golf, and you want to stay fit because hey, you're single, and you're looking for that one, but they're not gonna look at you if you look like you've been eating jelly rolls for the last year straight. But then now that I'm now in my 30s and I'm married, I think of it in a different way. It's I want to be in good shape for when we have kids. Yeah. I want to be able to keep up with them. I want to be able to teach them how to play basketball. I want to have enough energy to do that and be able to have an intimate relationship with my wife and go to work and then do the extracurriculars that I like to do too. Mm-hmm. I don't want to just have to go home and just be like
too tired to care.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's true. I heard that when I was younger, that you work out for different reasons and different decades, and it's becoming very apparent to me, why you do. So, because I don't want to, end up hurting myself or something and end up having, just being a big guy. Like I gained some weight this year, and I was a lot skinnier at the beginning of the year. It is really easy to gain weight.
It is.
Especially in West Texas, where there's nothing to do except eat Mexican food. I'm telling you, everything's bigger in Texas, including me.
Even on the Mexican food.
Oh, I absolutely do. The Mexican food and nothing to do, because I'm one of those guys.
That's true.
I don't like the gym. I like competitive sports, and there's no competitive sports here. There's some softball and stuff, but that's to me is not a work. I try to go down to the YMCA, go play basketball, pickup games like I did in Kansas City. Nobody's over there playing pickup games at the YMCA in Midland, Texas.
Because you're too competitive, Chris. I've seen you play Mario Kart. You scream at those little kids on the screen.
Those little Korean kids, they're nasty cheaters, man.
Those kids in Japan, you curse words at them like, I will come find you.
Absolutely.
So imagine playing basketball with somebody.
They're on one side of the track. All of a sudden, they disappear. They're on the other side.
I feel like you get too into it and like,
I am very competitive.
chest bump somebody on the floor and then like, that's right, stay down. It's like some grandpa.
I dropped that. Do not have anything bad to say about my Mario Karting. All right, I love Mario Kart. I get very competitive, and yes, I am a competitive person. But that's part of the thing. That's what I'm saying. That's why I like in the workout. My workout, I want it to be a level of competition. Yeah. That's what drives me.
Yeah.
Some people, they're like, oh, I'm going to train for this 5K. That doesn't interest me. That is not competitive to me. That is a solo thing that you're doing, So I know that I'll go and really work out for a few weeks to a month and then get so bored with that treadmill that I want to, to burn it. So, it's just, I just look at it like, oh my God.
If you lift it and chunk it, it'd be a lot more active.
That's true. That's true. So at one of those little Japanese kids that's cheating on Mario Kart, I will find them.
You will chunk it across continents and you will hit them.
I will find you. I will find you and I will hurt you.
You will call Chuck Norris who makes an order track and you will get them.
Hey, if you play Mario Kart, you know what I'm talking about. You know these vicious little Japanese kids that are need to stop playing online.
Exactly. You need to stop playing online.
Exactly.
You're listening to Hear No Evil. Follow Chris and Justin on Twitter at Hear No Evil Pod. That's Hear No Evil POD.
I think we're about the same on the the New Year's resolutions, and there are a million that you could pick from.
Yeah.
The question is just, what are you going to do? How are you going to do it? Set your goal, set your plan, don't be like, oh, okay, well, at midnight, oh yeah, this will be my last cigarette, and flick the cigarette and be like, it's over, because it's not going to be. You got to set yourself up for a win, to be positive. So New Year's resolutions aside, what do you like to do for New Year's Eve?
So when I was younger, they'd always have like a Three Stooges marathon.
Really?
That would become that was my tradition for a couple of years.
Really?
I would stay up all night and I'd watch all the Three Stooges, and they had like some of the movies like where they meet Hercules and stuff like that. But
right.
I enjoyed that for a while, and then I think what I would do is have like a movie marathon of some kind, like pick a series and try to watch all the movies, because it used to not be hard staying up till midnight, but sometimes it gets hard. Like if you a full work day and blah blah blah, and it's, I'm getting older, staying up till midnight.
Yeah,
is
you
hard
are
now. I'm in my late 20s. That's kind of hard staying up till midnight.
Oh my God.
So
I'm still a night owl. I'm up there with them Japanese kids playing Mario Kart at 3 a.m. So Justin's over here. He's just knocked out. Yep, exactly.
So,
I don't know how you're going to have these dozen kids, man.
Well, I'm going to make them self-sufficient. They'll take care of themselves. They will learn early on.
This is going to go bad so quick for you. All right, go on. I'm sorry.
That's my tradition. I mean, lately, since I've been with Monse, we don't really have we usually go over with family and like play games. I think that's what we've done in the past, or just kind of enjoy the time with each other, and we talk about goals together, but that's really just kind of like relaxed and laid back.
Yeah, for me, it was, and he's gone now, but I always loved just watching Dick Clark, having that on in the background, having a party. New Year's was always my favorite holiday.
Really?
Now, maybe not so much that I'm getting a little older, but especially when I was in my 20s and stuff, because that was, New Year's to me it's like the party night.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want. You can go out. You can go to you can go out to a club, or you can just go and hang out with friends, or you can go and do whatever. Especially if you're in a big city, there's always like a big party somewhere. The great thing was you're not restricted by family. You have no obligation to anybody. So you can, that's like one of the few holidays where I don't have to take kids trick-or-treating. I don't have to show up to all of these people's houses, or they're going to get upset with me. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, I got to stop by the office party real quick to drop off my, Secret Santa gift or something.
Right.
It's there's no expectation. It's just you and, your significant other, and you go out and you have a good time and you enjoy the party and you enjoy the ball drop. You get to see, and if you're at home watching TV, you get to see how how the different nations celebrate, you know. And for me, it was always from a little kid, Dick Clark. Now it's, what is his name?
Ryan Seacrest.
Forget Ryan Cooper. I know. I don't like Anderson Cooper and Ryan Seacrest that much, but I want them to help me ring in the new year. Luckily, we got rid of the worst of them all. Kathy Griffin will not be there this year.
Griffin.
Do you really?
I do. I don't.
Oh my God, she's annoying.
I've liked her stand-ups and stuff like that. I never had a problem. I know she's really political, but that's just who she is. That's not even. I don't take her seriously like everybody else does.
I always thought that she was just too abrasive.
But
like she was doing it on purpose. Yeah, but I felt she tried too hard with it, you know. So and it bit her in the butt in the end with the whole Trump scandal thing, you know. So
I think that was just a sign of the times, but I just feel like her whole concept was, yes, she's a comedian. I think her point was she was always trying to push the envelope.
Oh yeah,
if she pushed the envelope, then that means she got a rise out of you, and then you were sparking the conversation about that she didn't have before.
Oh right,
because her whole thing was, and if you don't know about her, she was always calling herself the D-list celebrity. Because when you think of Kathy Griffin, you don't think of a Julia Roberts type or anything like that. So
right,
I mean, that was her whole thing, was to push the envelope, and that's I treated her that way. I didn't say, I watch Kathy Griffin and think of her as an influential person that's going to have a lot of meaning in my life, you know. But I don't think she's really. She's harmless too. So I mean, that whole
the Trump thing.
Yeah, I don't.
You thought it was harmless?
There's people that make worse threats on a daily basis to other people than that, and that's that true. We don't make that big of a hoopla.
I didn't see it as a huge problem, but what I did see is that we are in a world that has become increasingly politically correct, and we found out that I don't care how liberal you are and what your views are. The moment that she did that to a Republican, the main Republican figure right now, even the liberals were against her. You know, they were like, hey, we've asked that you don't do that over here. We're not going to let you do that to the president either, you know.
No bloody heads at all.
Oh, man, it is kind of crazy. But still, Kathy Griffin, never thought she was funny. Like, not for a moment. I'm actually glad that I don't have to see her on TV this year. So, nothing against Kathy Griffin. I don't wish her career to an end. I just didn't like her on my set on.
I mean, one of the things I always like to do is, I always want to go to New York, but that was one of the things I've always wanted to do is be there when the ball drops. Not like, watching on TV is cool, but I've always wanted to actually go and be a part of the real thing.
And we might have to do that. We might have to that would be cool to do a show there, because you can rent the apartments right above Times Square. Now they're expensive. I think they're like $2,000 for the night, but I'm sure we could get a few people and get that cost down. But it would be cool just to see that, just to be there. And you don't even have to go down. You can just see right down into it.
I think it's cool because they play the same. They play the. Oh, I never can pronounce it right. What's the New Year's song that?
Oh, Old Lang Syne?
Yeah, they play that, and they play New York, Sinatra. I always like that. That's just kind of a good way to ring in the year. Just puts you in a positive.
Oh, it does.
Puts you in a fellowship and good feeling, and it's good.
And honestly, and I think that's the big thing about the New Year's and New Year's resolution is because you do I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it, because it does bring back a lot of nostalgia. That's the night where you kiss the one you love. You ring out all this old stuff and any negativity and
leave it in the year old.
Right. It's new and it's positive. Yeah. One thing that I need to ask is. And I think I've done this over the last few years. I think we've gotten to this point since 9/11 where we're just waiting for, we're watching not just for the ball to drop, but we're watching to make sure that we don't miss it if somebody sets off a bomb in Times Square.
I mean, we said it earlier, bad things always happen. They're always going to happen. When you are always, you're calling me, I think in the last episode, you called me a helicopter parent. Even last episode.
Yeah.
You can only do so much to be, anticipatory of what's going to happen next.
Right.
But when you do that, it ruins the, it just kills all the type of effortless fun or spontaneousness you could have.
Yeah.
So I mean, I get the sense of always being aware. I think that's the best you can do. I mean, and that's not to say, and I know people will hate me for this, but there's always good things that come out of the bad.
There are.
And that's how I choose to see it. You know, I don't like the bad things happen, but if it sparks change or whatever, then
yeah. I guess I'm just bringing that up because, and you've made a very, very good point about that, about just keeping positive. But I still watch it now, just going, waiting for the ball to drop just so I can be like, phew, it's over. You know, and I know it could happen right after that, but there's something, and I think it's just the way that times have changed, you know? Yeah. I mean, I'm from that generation that I know what the U.S. was before 9/11. Yeah. And I felt safe, you know, even though we'd go to war and we were in like, you know, when I was a real little kid, we were in Iraq already, you know, in Kuwait and all that. But I've always felt safe at home. Always felt safe at home. Totally different world after 9/11. And these kids that have grown up since then have not known anything that wasn't like seeing terrorist attacks on a regular basis. We have them here every year now. We never used to have that. They were always overseas, you know. So now we've got them at home, and it's been over a decade that we've just had this solid. And so I think a lot of people see that. Like watch New Year's Eve and they're just waiting for it. You know, I'm like, how many years have they said, you know, even like, especially like under Bush, like, oh, we're at code yellow. It's like code yellow. And so, and then they bring out like every single piece of the New York police force and some from upstate New York and sheriffs have all come in to make sure, you know. And I mean, just like look at the Boston Marathon a few years ago. Nobody expected that at a marathon, you know. And every once in a while, like when they say terrorist, you know, be on alert, you know, for a terrorist threat. Like, man, I'm watching like a Super Bowl or I'm watching like a major soccer game or something like that. And I'm like,
I just don't see what they would get out of that except just to
spread terror.
I know, but it's just of all I mean, so where we're from in West Texas, we are the hometown of George Bush, you know, Jr. GW. So
GW.
After 9/11 happened, you know, I was in junior high. So after that happened,
by the way, I'm not from here. I do not claim this city. I just need to say that. Justin, go on.
He gladly. But after that happened, you know, they were spreading fear, I guess, in the town because they thought, you know, this was a clear message, and he's making a clear message back that we're not going to take that, and like they're gonna bomb our town, you know. And we're just like, for folks that have been here, like, well, why would you waste your resources on bombing the place he's from? That would do nothing for your overall goal. No. Other than like send a message back. But it's just like, you know, you didn't go bomb one of the reserves or a nuclear plant. You bombed the hometown of a small West Texas area. I mean,
where the oil reserves are, by the way, that you might want to claim if you did take over the U.S. or something.
Right. So I'm just thinking like so that's when like when you say a Super Bowl, I'm just thinking like, yes, it's going to send a message. People are going to get hurt or die. But I'm like, did you really even? It's not going to do anything but make us.
But it's a fear factor because it's like if I living here, Canyon, Amarillo, Kansas City, Virginia Beach, everywhere you go, I've noticed this. They all have a reason why if we were going to get bombed, it would be that place.
Right.
It's a fear has set in. They all have something like Kansas City has like, that's actually right outside of KC are all these old limestone caves that they dug out. And the military, puts a lot of bombs in there. What was it? Amarillo was because they have the only nuclear facility in the country that still makes warheads. You know, they're in the factory. Here, it's because it's oil and it's George Bush. So everybody is like, no. If they're going to strike anywhere, it's going to be here, you know, because we're that important, you know.
Is that supposed to be your Texas accent?
No, actually, that was
your accents are off base, man. You need to work on those.
That one was just kind of like a plain, but I'm sorry, you got to get a little bit of
twang,
a little twang in there. So if they're gonna strike anywhere, it's gonna be here. It's gonna be right here
in this here town,
right? Exactly. So obviously, 60,000 people. This is who they're gonna take out. So, but I guess the whole point is that we have been inundated with a certain level of fear. Yeah. And so when I watch the New Year's, even my wife has said this, you know, I just hope nothing happens, you know. Yeah. But I guess it comes down to that prayer factor. I believe prayer works. I believe even if you don't see it work, I believe it's working, you know. So if you're listening, you know, New Year's we're just a couple days away. pray that nothing happens. Pray for a change on a global level. Pray for a change for our country for this year.
A positive change.
I know. If you can pray that they make your burger right. I mean, we pray for the dumbest stuff. For like these idiots.
I pray that the Szechuan sauce at McDonald's will be reinstated full time.
Yeah, that's right.
That's all for your Rick and Morty lovers out there.
Ultimate Rick and Morty prayer, which was, oh man, I love Rick and Morty. Which we'll have to talk about one day because they have some very interesting views on religion.
They do.
So
they really do.
They're very sacrilegious in one, and then in others they're like, it was all true. So
it's like
right, very adult show though. Only for adults. Don't have your kids watching this show. But yeah, I mean. Just prayer works. It really does. And if I could say, if you want any resolution this year, I mean, smoking, drinking, losing weight, just say you're going to pray more.
Yeah.
If you prayed every day, you would see positive change in your life.
Yes.
So, I mean, and even if it's just during dinner, I mean, like my wife and I, we're even to the point where it's just like, all right, give me your hand. Let's do the prayer. Prayer's happening. So sometimes I catch her with the fry going into the mouth. I'm like, so she's like, I'm sorry, I'm hungry, So, but we pray and use that time, not just to pray over your food, not a rub-a-dub-dub, thanks for the grub kind of prayer, but pray for yourself, pray for for your family and things going on. Pray for things you don't know about because God knows things that you don't.
Right.
He knows everything. He's got a lot higher perch than we do, Right. So just pray that God knows what he's doing and God's, keeping an eye out on you and he's fixing the things that need to be fixed. And sometimes that's all you have to pray. That would be my resolution for people. And I think I'll actually go ahead and I will put that out right now. That'll be my resolution for the new year is more prayer. Ooh. So, and being better at church. We have Sundays, we don't go. So we go Wednesday nights. And then sometimes there's like a family thing or something that comes up, and we do go on a regular basis, but I'd really like to get back to that where I was going twice a week. Yeah. I mean, I always felt closer to God. I felt, spiritually more based. I felt just healthier and stronger mentally, like that. So, but it's hard. It's hard when you got a lot of stuff going on and you're getting married and you're working. You have 2 jobs, so.
Don't remind me.
So before we wrap this up, anything else you want to throw out there? Do you want to make a declaration for a New Year's resolution?
My goal for 2018.
Your goal. Oh, sorry. Goal.
My goal.
Quotes. Let me get those air quotes up there.
Is to lose weight. I agree with what you said earlier. If I want to have kids, I want to pull them around, not vice versa. Mm-hmm. I agree with the church thing too. That's working 2 jobs and having a wife that works a lot of hours. That's not something that we're very good at. So I would like to get better at that. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say we'll be, twice a week people, but
right.
we can work towards a better resolution. Right?
There you go.
That's how you word it.
My goal is working towards a better resolution.
Yeah. And that's
I like what you did there. Kind of. Okay. So, and you guys, make your resolutions or your goals if you want to. But, if they don't work out in the first couple of weeks, don't wait the year. I think if anything. And again, we had our goals for this show, put out more episodes, learn more and be more interactive with our audience. So if you have something that you want to know about and it's just, something about the Bible, something that we could just discuss, whether it's spiritual or just everyday life, we would love to have your ideas. So Justin, will you give us the rundown on how they can contact us?
We're on Facebook to search for Hear No Evil Podcast. We're on Twitter at Hear No Evil Pod. And our email is hearnoevilpodcast@gmail.com.
So if you have like a story you want to tell us, something like hits you, tickles your fancy, you want to send us a longer story, you can send it through the email address. So, or just hit us up on Twitter or on Facebook or something. We've got a buddy that's been wanting to come in and do some video on this. So I would like that to be one of our goals. And
for next year,
I would like if we get enough people, like let's say we get like 20 people that we don't know that just say, hey, I want to see you do a live version. Mm-hmm. I could see us doing YouTube or Facebook Live. I will do that. What do you think?
I'm down.
You're down? You want to do that? We would do like a marathon.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. If we can get 20 people like us on Facebook and say, I want to see you guys live. Hashtag HNE Live.
Yes.
Let's do that. Hashtag HNE Live, Twitter, Facebook,
Instagram, wherever we got it.
That's right. And if we get 20 of those in, like, let's say in the next few weeks, we will do a live episode, a totally live video episode, and we will. You know what? I'll throw in another thing. If they do that, those people that put that out, we will have a drawing for a Hear No Evil T-shirt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you've got the Hear No Evil T-shirt. We can get it. I can get another one made. Okay. So, and I will pay that out of my own pocket. We will do a drawing for whoever's watching us live. How's that? So you put the hashtag out there. You show up for the live thing, and then whoever's watching us live, we will do a drawing live for that T-shirt. We'll show it to you and everything. It was actually pretty cool. It was black and white, but it was a cool T-shirt. So
yeah,
might have to see if they'll do a color version for us. But yeah, so I think that's about it. We're gonna wrap it up. That's wrapping up 2017 for Hear No Evil. You have anything else you want to throw out there?
I'm looking forward to 2018, man.
That's it, and we're gonna
put possibilities.
We'll see a lot more. Absolutely. So, God bless you guys as you go into the new year. Like we said, get to church, get some prayer in there, reach out to people that you wouldn't normally.
Get to the gym. No.
Yeah, right. Get to the gym. And that's it. We love you guys. We thank you for being with us this year. On to 2018. As for the year, this is Hear No Evil. I'm Chris Copeland.
I'm Justin McGill,
and we'll see you in the new year.
Bye.
Bye-bye. You got it.
This has been a Hear No Evil production. Thank you and good night.